Hello everybody. This is Jim Fulford, and it's our blog building bootcamp number 4. Got a lot of great information to share with everybody tonight. And what we're going to be doing is, first, we're going to be kind of going through a quick review. Secondly, we're going to be going through a lot of stuff about email. I've got a presentation. I'm going to go through some options on that. And then the latter part of the presentation tonight, we're going to be going through some pretty detailed stuff and giving you lots of demonstrations on some of the technology that drives the email marketing, the capture, and the automation stuff. And the main thing I wanted to let you know is that based on which automation service you use, so if you decide to use MailChimp versus GetResponse versus Constant Contact versus Aweber, all of them do a little differently. And so what you need to do as we go through that automation part is don't try to pay too much attention to the details of what exactly I'm demonstrating. Try to really get an idea on the concepts on how they're going to work, and that will really help you out. And then, so that's the first thing. Number two is that, you know, we also going to want to, when you're actually setting up some of the automation, the email autoresponders and things, there's many different technologies for doing the email capturing side as well. I'll be showing you SumoMe tonight. I'll also be showing you the Thrive Leaves capture, so we're going to be seeing some different options. And again, all of them are a little different. The concepts are really what you need to focus on. But really, as far as the email list, getting the email list is the most important part of building any business, because it's really the active part of generating leads. And of course, leads are really what you want no matter what your business is. And so we're going to be going through that tonight. And as you can see, I got Patches over here helping me out tonight. Patches is our 16-year-old Jack Russell Terrier. And Pepper is sitting up there on the couch as well, watching over here. So we got plenty of puppies helping us out on the presentation tonight. So hopefully they'll be quiet. But anyway, glad you guys could join us tonight. And again, if this is the first session you've joined, not a problem. All these sessions are recorded. And also each session is designed that if you're watching this for the first time, you'll get a lot out of it. But then this is the fourth in our series of 4 of Blog Building Bootcamp. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start the presentation now and get that going. And once I get my slides shared, we'll get started, and hope you guys enjoy it and we'll have a great time tonight. All right, great. So as you can see now on the slide deck, what we're going to do is kind of give you a review first. And over the past 3 weeks, we've been through many different things. We've been through finding your niche and building your brand. And I heard a really nice thing about that today when I was watching, because one of the articles I read, it talked about being the best in your niche. And it also talked about being the worst. And one of the great things about it is that if you've done your job selecting your niche, you'll be both. You'll be both the worst and the best, because you'll be the only one in your niche, because that's really the good way to dominate it. So we talked a lot about niche and building your brand. We then went into blogging and why having a blog is such an important part, because it really becomes a central hub of all your marketing efforts. Whatever you're doing on Facebook and Twitter, Google pay-per-click, all those different campaigns and things, they all point back to your blog. And the blog is really also the place that you're gathering leads. We talked about your lead magnet, and we'll demonstrate some of those tonight as we go through some of the sites we're going to look at. That's really the thing that you exchange your user for them to give you their email address. We also went into content creation, which is really how do you create content for blog. We went through how to generate ideas for content, and most all you guys have started creating blogs and content ideas, and that's great. Last week was kind of technical. We went through pre-blogging research, keyword research, and search engine optimization. So that was kind of a review. And again, you can watch back. We've put all 3 of the videos from the prior 3 weeks online, plus the kickoff video, and you can review any of those that you like. We'll get those out to you. But anyway, that's kind of a quick review of what we've been through. Now tonight, what we're going to be going through is really 3 things. Email opt-in forms, and these are the forms that you fill out on your website. It actually gathers the email addresses from your visitors. We're going to go over the email autoresponders, and then we're going to go over email marketing. And I want to start with the email marketing, the last one first. Let me take a sip of water here. So first thing, email marketing. What you may be wondering is why is building your email list so important? And what you're going to find out is, because most people think that, I don't even pay attention to my emails anymore. Most of my marketing I get through Facebook and some of the other channels, but really Your email list is going to be your most important list any small business has next to your customer list. I mean, your people that actually bought from you, your customers, whether you're a product or a service company, that's your most important list. And of course, everyone and all your customers should be in your email list. But your email list is the one place that you got where you continuously communicate with people. And those are people that have really opted in and said, I'm interested in what you have to say. Because you'll find out that a lot of people that follow you on Twitter have no idea anything about you. People that follow you on Facebook, may know very little about you. But the people that actually opt into your list and decide not to opt out of your list, these are the ones that you're going to have a really great chance to continually put your message in front of. And so you'll find out this is the list is really what will make you the most money. It's also the place where you're going to be getting the leads and creating the relationships for building your other businesses besides whatever you're using your lead list for. So it is very important. Now, another thing people also often want to know is how often should I email my list? And there's not really a good answer for this because it really depends on your niche. Some people, if your niche is someone that needs, that could use training and content every day, then absolutely you could email them every day. In fact, just think about your email box and think about the emails that you get. I have many emails. I've been doing lots of studying on pay-per-click and Facebook ads, and so I have many lists that I'm on. They email me every day about tips for search engine optimization and stuff. And of course, I'm expecting that, and I appreciate that because every day I get a fresh things that I can study delivered to my email box. Your other niches, it might be more. If you emailed your list every day, they would unsubscribe, and you have a list that you might want to email them once a week or once a month. The main thing is think about your niche and what would be a good frequency for them, and stick to it consistently. Because if you consistently stick to it, they'll be going to expect your updates and do that. So that's really kind of a good thing. Also, when you're dealing with your list, you should use the jab, 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 right hook strategy when sending emails. Now, the jab, 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 right hook comes from the book that same title. That's by Gary Vaynerchuk. Now, Gary Vaynerchuk is the guy that started just working his family swine business, and he started getting on social media and answering people's questions. And he really is kind of the king of social media now. I mean, he's so rich today, he bought one of the professional ball teams and stuff. So he's a very wealthy guy in marketing. And what he talks about jab, 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 what that means is give value, give value, give value, then ask for the sale. So always do for them, do for your customer, do for your customer, do for your customer, and then ask them to do something for you. Don't just right hook, right hook, right hook, and everything you send them shouldn't be a sales pitch. And so we'll be talking more about that in a moment. Another thing to think about when you're going through your email ideas is make sure that all of your emails are value-based. So even though we're going to be asking people to buy stuff, we're going to be asking people to opt in, we're going to be asking them to share, post, comment, forward, we're going to be asking them to do many things, but still you should be making every email you send out value-based, something and thinking about them. Now, even though you make them value-based, you do want to include a CTA or a call to action. Now, a call to action is really what you want the person in the email to do. You may want them to phone you. You may want them to visit your website. You may want them to go and give you a Facebook like. You may want them to add a comment. You may want them to share. You may want them to sign up for your mail, for a list, for a webinar. You do have a call to action. And again, it's important to do these in a nice, friendly way. So for example, when you're trying to get someone to do that, suggest that they do it. Don't tell them that they do it, because people don't like to be dictated to. Also, really, whatever you're offering in your email, know the offer and its value. And what you want to do is talk about what it does, not what it is. Because again, if you got a product that you're selling people in email, don't talk all about the product. Talk about what the product does. Talk about the value and the benefits of the person. That's really what they're going to be interested in, and that's what's going to be asking them to give you the sample, that kind of stuff. Another thing is don't do the guru thing. And what the guru thing is those are the people that's got thousands or hundreds of thousands of followers, and what they do is they only send out something to their list when they've got a new launch coming. So when they got a new webinar coming up or a new product or a new seminar, that's when they do the list. You don't want to do that. You really want to continually talk to your list so that they really can get to know you, even though you may not be knowing them. Just like in Facebook, you'll find out how many people read all the things that you write on Facebook, and you have no idea until you run to them 3 months later and they start mentioning all the things that you've talked about. The emails is the exact same way. Now, another thing I want to ask you a question is, how often does your niche, how often do they need help? Well, exactly. Most of them need help every day. So if they need help every day, it's okay to email them every day. If they need help every week, something, email them weekly. So it's really it's not a problem communicating with them. Many people email them multiple times a day. So again, it's up to you. And a lot of that should be based on how often you update your blog as well. And we'll talk about that a little more in a moment as well. Now, another thing is important, the concept is to get people on your list to raise their hand sometimes instead of just pushing them into a sales page. And this is a very effective way to find out who on your list is ready to step forward. This might be someone that is willing to look at your primary business opportunity, someone ready to buy. And let me give you an example of that. So you send out your email, but you might say, P.S., reply back to me if you got any interest in working with me personally on a side project. Or how about, hey, P.S., we're rolling out a new product. Reply back if you'd like a sneak peek. There are people that love to get things first. I'm one of those kind of people. I'm an early adopter. If I got an email from Apple that said, hey, guess what? We're going to put the next iPhone out, for 3 weeks early. Would you like to get on a line to get one early? I'd be the first one to reply back to that because I like to get things, a sneak peek of things. Here's a good one. And this was one, if you do this one, this will get more response than any other one to your list. So think about how in your niche. But here, you don't put a link in this one. You send them a text-only email, and it might say something like, hey, this is just a quick email to see how I can best help you. Reply back with the number one struggle you're having, and I'll do my best to help. And again, don't send the link out with that. So really, no matter what your niche is, if people that's coming to your group, they're coming looking for answers. And so, if you've got a niche of search engine optimization, they'll ask you SEO questions. If you've got a network marketing niche, they'll be asking you network marketing questions. If you have a niche on stamp collecting, they'll be asking you stamp questions. Really, it depends on what your niche is, but people are going to ask you, and it's going to be a great way to start dialogue with people. But just be prepared to have some time to go through your emails and answer, because you will get responses back when you do this, when you're listed of any size at all. Now, the other thing I want to do is talk about follow-up campaigns. I often get lots of questions about, these drip campaigns. When I put someone on my list, should I send them out, an email on the first day and the 7th day and the 12th day and the 15th day and the 30th day and the 95th day? And it depends. I mean, if you've got a particular sales funnel, so if someone's coming in and looking for a particular product, and there again is a sales funnel, sure, it's okay to have an automated sales funnel, and it's easy to do with all the services. But it's best to keep it fresh and do more broadcast emails than automated follow-ups. That's especially true if you blog regularly. So think about it, people always like fresh content and fresh news. And so if you're sending out your main list, things that you're doing, and fresh, that's going to be much more well received than a bunch of pre-written emails that's been written 10 months ago that's going out to them on a time fashion. So think about being timely, relevant, and again, especially on your main list, don't do a lot of automated follow-ups. Just use the email broadcast. Also, when you're doing your links in your email, it is better to do the link, like click here, watch this, than actually have the raw HTTP links out, because the less they look like a link, normally the better your email is going to be opened. Another thing is, I mentioned this a moment ago, you want to encourage people to comment, encourage it to share, but don't beg them, don't dictate to them. You really want to say, use stuff like, hey, if this was value to you, please share. Or if you enjoyed this, please forward it to your friends. Or if you've got value in this, I would appreciate your comment on it and sharing it. So anyway, think about using language where you're asking them to in a nice way to engage, because engagement is where it's at, and it's a great way to do it in your email. So whenever they go to your blog post, encourage them to click it and share it and forward it, but don't tell them, hey, take this and copy it and forward it to all your friends, because people just don't like doing that. They like that amount as much as people constantly inviting you to play games and wanting you to take Facebook posts and forward them to everybody. Another thing is really on your email marketing, be more natural. Take people on the journey with you. Share stories, share photos, use content just like you would for social media. So if you win a trip, mail that out to all the people on your list that, hey, we're on a trip, we had a great time. People love reading stories and information like that. So be sure and make it as much like social media. And really the best tip of all that I can give you on email marketing is to Don't go too long without mailing your list and pretend people are paying you every month for your list. I mean, if you think about it, if they were paying you, $9.95 a month to get your emails, then you wouldn't skip a month without sending them out. And that's really what you want to do, is make sure that you have a set frequency for your emails and you send them out on a regular basis, because that's really how you're going to get a consistent following and people are going to really do your emails. Now, what we're going to do tonight, most of the session is going to be some live interactive demos, and we're going to be going over email capture forms and autoresponders. But before I switch over to share the screen, I wanted to show you a couple of other things with you as well. Now, this is an email that I got, it looks like it came in on the 25th, or yesterday, or the 24th. And the Nutrition Plus Me website is a website that Peggy uses a lot more than I do. But this is one of our main sites that we use for creating product sales. And if you look, this is an email thing that says, all right, this is your status. This week, you had 249 pop-ups. You had 18 people subscribe and a 7.23% conversion rate. Now, what that means is that people that were visiting our site, that 250 of them during the week were all week, well, the form popped up. Well, 90% of them, 93% of them just hit the close button, and you think that's bad. Well, that's actually good. Anything above a 3% locked-in rate is good. And we got double that, 7.23% conversion rate. But the important thing is, in 1 week, we added 18 subscribers to the list. Now, no matter what business you're in, I can guarantee you that you would like to add 18 prospects to your list, 18 people that can potentially turn into leads for you. And that's really what you do. This was using something called Sumo Me. I'll show you that in a moment. But I just wanted to kind of show you, because that's really what we're talking about, is really taking your sites and getting them to give you lists. So that's what we're going to be showing you in just a moment on that. Now, the next thing I want to let you know is this Thursday night, we're not going to have a Q&A call like we have for the last 3 Thursdays, because what we're going to do is, since they're kind of winding down the blog training and pretty much every one of you guys are in different positions, I'm going to be reaching out to you individually just to help you make plans for next month. Because some of you still need to work on your lead magnet. Some people still need to get their blogging done. Some people have gotten 3 or 4 blog entries done already. Everybody's in different places. So I'll continue to work with you. But instead of just doing a Q&A call, I'm going to be reaching out to you individually. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pop over and actually share my screen. And I'm going to go ahead and get that done. And I want to pre-apologize for this, because I'm going to be sharing a little differently than I normally do. I am going to share